I think that moving around as much as I did when I was a kid had a lot to do with my becoming a writer. My father worked for Scott Paper Company for a large part of his career, and he was in marketing, and he was always moving to different headquarters in order to, I don't know, I guess to goose the markets. And I attended about 17 schools before I got to college. And I think that on the one hand, it made me a little insecure, and it also threw me back on my own resources, particularly reading, since I was, often kind of the new kid without without a cohort of friends. The reading led to my wanting to write, and I started when my father died. I went through his effects, and I discovered that I've been writing stories since I was 5 years old, basically. It's something that I'd honestly forgotten. So I think that did have a lot to do with my choice of a career. And the other thing it had a lot to do with was my choice of New York as my subject matter and my home. By the time I got to New York at the age of 21, I just looked around and I said, hey, finally I feel like I belong somewhere. And also, I felt like here was a place to write about. Here was like 7 million stories that I could borrow and poach from, and it's been almost from the day I set foot in the city, I felt like that was my turf. Raymond Carver had the Pacific Northwest where he grew up, and Faulkner had Mississippi where he grew up, and I didn't have that. I grew up in suburbs all over the world, really, and I was very grateful to find my turf as a writer.